Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nisha if you're new here, and in today's video we're going to be doing 3 looks with 3 palettes. So I purchased these 3 Milani palettes, the Milani Gilded Violet, Gilded Ember, and Gilded Jade. So these came out, I believe, late last year or fall last year, and I didn't purchase them right away. They were $19.99 on Milani.com, but I did pick these up on Mercari. So if you don't know, Mercari is a reselling app where you can buy and sell new and used items. I sell on there. I'll link my Mercari down below. Usually items that I'm decluttering, barely used, or not interested at all that I get from subscription boxes, I would put on there. And I also purchase items from there. So these 3 palettes, I got them for around close to $10 each. And they were barely touched by the user. They are authentic. You can check to make sure that the items that you're buying are authentic just based on the pictures and the ratings of the seller. And I've been on there for a couple of years, so you can see the ones that are fake, and the company helps to filter out the ones that are fake as well. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a look with each of these, and starting with the first look with the Gilded Ember palette. And in this video, we're going to focus mainly on the eyes. For everything else that's on my face, I have another video where I test out a bunch of new Milani products, including the new Screen Queen foundation, which I have on my face right now, as well as a bunch of other products. So I will link that video down below if you're interested in seeing all the other products on my face, all pretty new and new to me Milani products. But in today's video, we're gonna go ahead and do a look with the Gilded Jade palette. If you're interested in seeing how I got this look where I actually used every color in this palette, please keep on watching. Okay, so for the first look, we're going to be using the Milani Gilded Jade palette. Of course, we couldn't tell by the fact that I'm wearing a green shirt. I know, I'm so matchy. So this is what it looks like. A lot of beautiful greens, and I can use this color pretty much as a highlight. I would not highlight my face with this color. It will not work very well for my skin tone at all, but I'll probably use it for inner corner highlight or something. So let's get to this very green look. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this very light brown Grounded as my... pretty dusty. See that? As my transition. It's a very light color, so it's not going to show up very much on me, but it's going to set my lids so that right in the transition area, so when I go in with the darker brown, it will blend out a lot better than if I just went straight in with this darker brown. So I don't set my lids. I prefer my concealer or my eyeshadow primer base to be tacky. But I go in with a transition first, so whatever darker color I go in the crease, it won't stick and be hard to blend out. It'll blend out a little bit more seamlessly because the transition color went down. And now with the transition color, because it's so close to my skin tone, you don't really see it. But what it's doing is helping the darker colors to blend into my skin tone, so it is very seamless, not just very like dark, light. So that's essentially what a transition color does. Okay, next with a smaller blending brush, I'm going to go in with Edible. And then I'm going back in with the bigger brush to blend that out. This is the brush that had my transition color on it. I always go back and forth with every brush because that's what helps your eyeshadow to look more blended. Next, with this smaller sort of tapered brush, I'm going to go in with That's Deep, which is this beautiful deep green in my outer V. So I just like to tap it on the outer V first. Build the color up. With drugstore shadows, you tend to have to build the colors up. Very rarely it's a situation where you go in and it's as pigmented and as deep as you see it in the pan. So what I do is I tap it on the outer V, and then I'll go in lightly and start blending it. Because as you see, as soon as you start to blend, a lot of the times that depth of color is gone. You still see the smokiness, but it doesn't look green. So that's why you need to build it up. So I'm going to bring this into the crease about halfway and soften the edges with the tip of my brush. Then I'm going to go back in again, tap, tap, tap to bring back that green. And very lightly blend the edges. Just in case you guys want to see, it is pretty powdery, so you see a lot of kick up in the pan. Doesn't bother me as long as I can see the color when I put it on. But that just means you have to tap your brush out before you go in with it, because it will just be a mess all over your face. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with the second brush and lightly blend out the edges of the deepest green. And then back in with the first brush. Blend, blend, blend. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with these three colors on the lid. So I'm going to go with gold, green, dark green. So I'm going to pick it up on my flat brush and spray it. And then go onto my lid with the gold. Just right about here, not all the way across. So on the other side of the brush, I'm going to go in with the green. Try me. And then I'm also going to spray it. Milani is one of my favorite drugstore brands. Their eyeshadows aren't the best. Their face products are amazing. Their eyeshadows aren't the best, but they are workable and really good for the price that you pay for a drugstore brand. I'm going to go in with Lagoon and connect it with That's Deep at the end. This green is beautiful. It pretty much matches my sweatshirt. Good choice. Now I'm going to go back in with the brush that had the darkest green. That's Deep. And connect the shimmer on the outer V. Then I'm going backwards, going back with the second brush. Go around the shimmer, soften it up a little bit. And then the transition color brush goes around everything to do what? Blend, blend, blend. So I'm gonna go do liner, lashes, the rest of my face, and I'll be back so we can finish up the lower lash. And I'm back with my face pretty much done, so we can finish up the lower lash line. Well, finish up the rest of the eyes. I did use both of these as my highlight, and it looks stunning. If you're interested on everything else that's on my face, it's a bunch of new Milani products. That video is already up. I will link it in the description box. I'm wearing the new foundation, some new blush products. I'm about to put on some new lip stuff. So if you're interested in all of that new eyebrow stuff, if you're interested, it'll be linked down below. But let's finish up the eyes. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with Mint Julep on the inner third and Jaded on the outer 2/3. Okay, maybe not. Mint Julep is just like the anaconda from the Bretman Rock palette. So change of plans. I'm gonna go in with Jaded on the lower lash line. If you're a green lover, you're really going to enjoy this palette. I'm going to take some of that deep and put it on the very outer edge of my eye. And then I'm going to wipe this brush off and then go in with Mint Julep to blend that out a little bit. For my brow bone highlight, I'm going to use this lighter gold, The Envy Of. And for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to go in with this highlight Aura. I'm going to spray it as well because this is very powdery. And then one last time, like I always do, I'm going to take the brush that has a transition color and go all the way around to blend everything together. Okay, and that is it for the finished eye look. So I'm going to do some liner and mascara and I'll be right back. So this is the finished look with the Gilded Jade palette. I actually used every color in this palette on this look, and I used the highlighters on my cheek. For lashes, I'm wearing these LA Colors 3D Full Mink lashes in Emerson. They're not as bold as I like, but they are pretty beautiful. They are pretty fluffy, and they were only $4 at Walmart. And in my waterline, I am using my LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in Fresh, my favorite green liner pencil. And yeah, that is it. That is the completed eye look number 1. So stay tuned for look number 2. Okay, so for look number 2, if you haven't guessed it yet, we're going to be doing a look with the Milani Gilded Jade palette. This is what it looks like. A lot of beautiful purples and bluish colors. I am wearing all of the new Milani items on my face again. Again, that video is in the description box. I wore the foundation, the Screen Queen foundation, but this time I used a more mattifying primer in my T-zone, and so far I feel like it's working better that way. My lip combo is also new items, which is the Ludicrous Matte Pencil in So Obsessed, and the Keep It Full Lip Nourishing Lip Plumping lip gloss in Gold Dust. So in terms of lip plumping, I guess it is. I don't need lip plumping, but it feels a little bit tingly, but not horrible at all. And this, I don't know how matte it is, because even before I put the gloss on top of it, it seemed pretty creamy. So I'll try it again. I'll see how matte it actually is on its own. I'm going to go ahead in with these mattes and probably these two on the lid, maybe some purple on the lower lash line. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to jump right in. And I'm going to start off with Heavy Petal as my transition color. Next, with that same brush but more on the pointed tip, I'm going to go in with Kiss Kiss in my crease. Now I'm going to grab this really tiny blending brush and we're going to go into this deepest color, Past Curfew. Okay, now I'm gonna go cut the crease and I'll be right. Okay, now I'm back with the crease cut and I'm gonna go in with Full Moon, Your Majesty, and Deep End, all three colors on my lid, one after the other. Okay, scratch that. It has no color to it, so no. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with Your Majesty and Deep End on the end. So let's try this again. That is much better. Now we're gonna go with Deep End on the second half. What I also like to do when I do a cut crease is I go back in with the deepest color in the crease, which is this Past Curfew, on a teeny tiny brush like this. And I go around the lid colors to reinforce the darkest color right around where you cut the crease. Then of course I go back in with the crease color and the transition color, but this time the crease color, I'm using it on a much smaller brush because you want to bring back that color right in here, especially where you lose it. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to start off with the darkest color, Past Curfew. And then I'm going to blend it out with Very Violet. Okay, so I'm going to do a liner and lashes, and I will be right back. Okay, and we're back with liner and lashes. So for lashes, I'm wearing the LA Colors 3D Foaming Lashes in Andy. And for mascara, I'm using my Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. And for eyeliner, I'm wearing my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Voodoo in the waterline and Goddess at the upper lash line. So now we can finish up the eye. I'm going to go in with No Angel at the brow bone. And this highlights Seeing Stars in the inner corner. Okay, but that one was pretty difficult to work with. It's very, very chunky and has no base to it, but I guess because it's a face product, it's very, very similar to this one, where there's no base to it and it's very chunky, and even when you blend it out, it's not as spectacular as it should be. Anyway, but this is the completed look. Okay, so quickly before we go to look 3, also with this palette I was able to use almost all of the colors except for this lavender right here called Melodrama. These two are not my favorite. They have a very, very similar formula, which is very, very chunky and very little pigment and not as sparkly. I have it on my inner corner and I have this one on my inner corner, and it was way too much work for this little payoff. And then the other one, you see I had to go in with a different color on the lid. Other than that, the other colors worked perfectly fine. So far, I've used Jade and then now Violet. Violet is not my favorite. But let's see how Ember goes in look number 3. And welcome to day 3. Today we're going to be doing a look with the Milani Gilded Ember palette. This is what it looks like. This one is the most wearable of the 3. On my lips, I'm using the Ludicrous Matte Lip Crayon in 140 So Obsessed, and it does dry down matte without the gloss on top of it. It's very matte, it dries all the way down, very comfortable, and I really like this color. On my cheeks, I'm using I'm using Molten as a blush and Flicker as a highlight on my cheek, so I'm very glowy today. Okay, so for the eyes, I'm not going to do anything too complicated. We've been here long enough. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use all the colors because they are pretty close in tone. They look different on camera, but in person, they look very, very close in tone. The finishes are just a little bit different. So let's jump into it. So with this taper blending brush, my Real Techniques, I'm going to go in with Pyro in the crease. Okay, so now that color is down, you guys can see this is really, really dusty. There's a lot of kick up in the pan, and there's even some fallout on my face right here. Anyway, so the reason why I put this seemingly dark color down first is because I know that Milani's mattes are pretty powdery. They can be, and if I had put a lighter color down first and then try to build up this orange, it would have taken forever, and I'm not trying to be here forever. So what I like to do is I put the darker color down first, and then I go back in with a lighter color, the transition color, and blend that darker color out into my skin tone. Okay, so now that I have those two down, there's really nothing that's dark enough, well, deep enough, the way I like to do my makeup, to deepen up the outer V. So I guess we're gonna skip that today, and I'm gonna go in with Gilded, Ignite, and Fuego on the lid. I'm gonna go back with Pyro on the outer V to connect this. Then with a teeny tiny brush, we're gonna go around the shimmers. So for the lower lash line, we're gonna go in with Fuego. And I'm gonna blend that out with Lit. The brow bone, I'm gonna do Phoenix. And the highlighter Flicker as the inner corner. Okay, now I'm gonna add liner and lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, and here is the finished look. Ended up being really warm and fiery. Of course, matches with my, this is the dress and the shirt. Matches with my shirt. The lashes I'm wearing are the LA Colors. I wore this in the last look. The LA Colors 3D full make lashes in Andy. So cute with the little glasses. My mascara is my Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. And my liner, in my waterline, I went with brown today. The Appeal Gel Liner in Deep Taupe. Okay, so just like all the others, I was able to use, well, almost all the colors. I didn't use this color, but this is kind of like a topper shade. Very, very glittery, and is more of a topper. So I did not use that one, but I was able to use all of the other colors and the face products in this palette. The mattes in here are so dusty. I literally had to dust eyeshadow off of my headband. Out of all three, I think this was the dustiest one. Okay, so that is 3 looks with 3 of the Milani Gilded palettes: Gilded Jade, Gilded Ember, and Gilded Violet. Out of all 3 of them, surprisingly, my favorite was my look with the Gilded Jade, the first look that I did. But you let me know which one out of the 3 was your favorite. I know this one is going to be considered the most wearable of the 3, but surprisingly, the green was my favorite. Like I said before, Milani is one of my favorite drugstore brands. Their face products are my absolute favorite. The eyeshadows, they're not the best, but they are workable. With the mattes, they are very, very dusty and they will leave you with a lot of fallout. So I would advise that you do your eyes first and really pack on the crease color if you want the color to show up like this does. Wet the shimmers so that they show up much more vibrant and show up as the color in the pan. And make sure you have a good, somewhat tacky base. My only other qualm with these palettes is the fact that they have the face products together with the eyeshadows, and this one is so light yet this one is so deep. Yes, they can be used as shadows, but they really are face products. So if someone with a really light skin tone uses it, they'll have to use that. This will be a really big eyeshadow, and if someone with a really deep skin tone buys it, they will have to use this as a really big shadow. And these face products are very, very flaky, very, and they have no base color to them because they are face products. So I think it would have been so much better if it was just this 9-pan palette. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. And these are probably in a face palette or sold as individuals. I believe all 3 of these palettes are still available online. If they are, I'll link them down below if you're interested. I am extremely happy that I got all 3 of them on Mercari for a way reduced price. So those are the 3 looks and my thoughts on the palettes. If you've made it to the end and you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.